realize now I use the intro for the Kickoff episodes. I guess that does work in a way. Welcome to the Gridiron Throne
Sure do.
Network. I'm your standard host, CMAS. I got the OG crew here. I got my boy Gato. How you doing, Gato?
Well, in the great words of the late great Colonel Sanders, I'm too drunk to taste this chicken.
I also got my standard co-host, Acid. Good luck following that.
I got nothing to follow that with. Just glad to be here, guys, and kick off season 2.
And I got
Kermit the Frog in the house, by the way.
Got our standard. Nice try. I got our standard extra host there. Eventually, he'll be considered a regular Merk train.
Hey guys.
All right, so we got a few things we want to talk about today.
Hey.
Hey. Speaking of, reminds me, let me go ahead and make my party non-invite only before we just have a random person show up. Let's see here.
Gated community.
Not like that ever happens.
There we go. Yeah, we don't want that. All right.
CLP Antonio.
We got a few things that we're going to go over today. We're going to talk a little bit
Swear we
about
don't
last
pay these
season.
reporters.
Basically just a few touch points on last season. Most of this is basically a recap. So, we're going to talk a little bit about, very little about the draft, maybe a little bit about free agency, a little bit of takeaways from that. We're going to talk mostly about the APL Pro team. We have the user draft results. They may be surprised at what the results are. We'll see. And like I said, we'll just talk a little bit about last season. We'll make this a quick, clean show and get ready for season 2. I'm excited, very excited. So first things first, we did have a Super Bowl champion last season. Good old G.I.T.L. God, look at him. He's so handsome. There with his Super Bowl trophy that Gato sent him, and he actually just received it today. He's very proud. Kind of just giving you guys your thoughts. I don't know if you guys watched the Super Bowl stream or any of G.I.T.L's streams, but what did you guys think of his undefeated season in his, basically his first full season with us? Go ahead and start off with Acid.
Well, I told him right after his Super Bowl win, I tried like crazy to beat him down all year, try to talk his team down, and you couldn't be beat, man. G.I.T.L is probably one of the best users I've seen in a long time. And yeah, I think we're gonna have a lot of trouble dethroning this champ. He might be going for a repeat this year.
What do you think, Gato?
Well, I think when he came from behind after that Bears game, that was the statement win, going strong. And once he beat Cam in the AFC Championship game, I don't think anyone really had any doubt he was gonna leave Mercedes-Benz Stadium without that trophy. I'm seeing the picture now. It's a pretty good one. He teased me with a little more of a better picture, but I appreciate it.
It's the best
He
thing to
didn't
do on
put
such
that
short notice.
not on. Wait, now when he teased you with a different pick, you don't mean somewhere else, do you? We don't, want to leave our fans, hanging here.
No, you can't give the fans too much. The coach, White Cocoa, gave him what he felt like they needed.
Merk,
Impressive ring, by the way.
You just take one of the worst teams starting out in the league. I believe they were rated like a 74 overall or something like that. And you go undefeated and win the Super Bowl. It's going to be pretty hard. And after his draft and some of the free agent signings, it's going to be a tough season for anyone playing him this year.
Absolutely. I mean, he was the very last person to do the lottery pick. The very last selection in the user draft. Undefeated Super Bowl champion, season 1.
Yeah, he only had
Cinderella
2 options.
boy, Cinderella story.
He had Dolphins or just go to a fucking other league, and
Basically.
I'm glad he took the Dolphins.
I'm glad he took the Dolphins too. But that's enough about that. That was last season. I've already forgotten who we were just talking about. Let's move on. Crap. Next segment is your biggest takeaway. So, let's go ahead and talk about your guys' biggest takeaway from last season, and then I'm almost done with it because we got a season highlight video. But let's go ahead and do the biggest takeaway of last season. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be just about Madden in general. Whatever you guys is your biggest takeaway from our first season in Madden 19. I'm gonna go ahead and start it off with Merk. Merk, what was your biggest takeaway from last season?
The slow starts for some of the people that were with us in Madden 18, that I thought would just come in here and just continue their success. Had a little bit of a rocky start. Not gonna name names or anything, but it took a little bit of adjustment period, which I thought was kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think that a lot of people, some of them are still in the slow start, and so yeah, I agree with you. A lot of people are just slow start, and it's just an adjustment because these two games, while they're the same game, and usually EA just kind of puts the same thing out, it doesn't definitely feels a lot different. It also makes you question. It's like which guys are actually good users or just had good teams. Maybe that's a segment for another day. But Acid, what was your biggest takeaway of our first season?
For a division that we beat down every single season, it seemed like NFC East came up big this year. Sir Dugas and Minty getting in the playoffs. Sir Dugas taking it a whole nother step by actually knocking out one of our perennial favorites for the Super Bowl, or at least to make it to the Super Bowl, and the Bears over there, or former, former Vikings. But yeah, I think Spider didn't see him coming. Dugas is, I think he's here to stay, and he's got a new quarterback, so I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more of him for the rest of this year.
That was a big move getting that quarterback, and that's something we can talk about when we talk about free agency in the offseason. But I agree with you. NFC East definitely has. That's the first time we've had somebody have a winning record, and then we had two people with winning records, and they both make playoffs. So that's obviously a big jump. Really happy to see that. I'm just scared to see which divisions are going to become the old NFC East. Hopefully, none of them. Gato, what's your biggest takeaway from last
Well,
season?
well, kind of this might bridge the gap between those two thoughts. Um, A, it is still Madden, but B, this new real player animation, which they intend to update further down the line, and a few other things, which is a bonus that EA is actively monthly updating the game right now, other than just the roster updates. I think that speaks volumes. But ultimately, my main takeaway is this might be the most interesting and fun Madden, um, personally, in my opinion, that we've had in years. And the league as a whole is as healthy as it's ever been, and I don't see us slowing down at any rate. And I couldn't be more excited to go forward.
Definitely agree with you, and I match your excitement for this league and this Madden. While I may not like it that much because I'm not winning right now, it's definitely been a good experience. I do my biggest takeaway. Um, we made a change coming into this season because we had a huge issue last Madden of a plethora of what we call super teams. So we made a decision to basically nerf all the season awards, and I'm not even sure if it was necessary because this Madden is definitely more difficult to upgrade your players, and I think that's my biggest takeaway is, we're a season in, and people are celebrating their team overall going up 2 points. So it's tough in this Madden to kind of upgrade your team unless you're winning every game. I'm sure the Dolphins have made a huge jump, but otherwise, you can train the same guy all season long and maybe get 2, 3 upgrade points. So it's tough sledding out there. We're not going to have super teams. You're gonna have to learn how to play the game. You're gonna have to learn how to develop, I guess, win some player of the weeks. I don't know, without cheating. So that's my biggest takeaway is just the difficulty it's going to be to develop teams, at least from what I've seen so far. Um, Moving on from basically our biggest takeaways, we can go ahead and move on to our highlight video. Um, and to see other videos like this, I kind of want to let Gato do a PSA announcement before we get too excited, because we did add a new channel, or basically replace an old channel. I'll go ahead and let Gato kind of talk about that, if he's still with me, or if I'm still here.
No, you're there. I
You're
thought you were
there.
gonna have me do the PSA after the
No,
video.
let's go ahead
But
and
I can
do it
do it
now.
real.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I was texting our current defending
I was
Super Bowl
sending a
champion.
tweet.
Um, tweet. No, but anyway, PSA real quick. User content channel. If you guys want to actively use that, maybe give a little quick story or say, hey, we just landed in Atlanta. We're gonna go play the Falcons or Carolina, Atlanta. I know that was a big matchup today, so like you could have done something similar to that, or even Loletta is coming on strong in his second season. Just, little things. Inform the whole league about how you feel about your team and where you're at. And let's just build this immersion experience and continue to use that highlight channel. I'm going to actively download highlights from that, and I'm going to try and put out quarterly highlight reels, as in what you're about to watch. That way we can kind of stay up to date throughout the season, and we don't have to think so far back and reflect on some of these things. But yeah, take it away, Andy.
Cool. Here we go.
Wentz is going to have plenty of time in the pocket. He's going to have wide develop down the field. That's going to be Brown.
Beautiful ball.
Over the middle. Touchdown, Antonio Brown. Huge play out
See
of
a dance
Pittsburgh.
here. There we go.
And exactly what we were kind of talking about.
That his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. Picked off by Eric Rowe. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. I still see him very proud. Years after the contact of Brady. Memory was with Philadelphia. Then he has to
This guy needs a touchdown to win the game. I know he's going to the end zone.
Now it's Trubisky. Now a desperation throw. Deep
Dude, no!
downfield.
Dude,
This is
this
Cole.
game.
Going deep for Benjamin. And that's caught inside the 30. The Cardinals bring pressure and they get home. It's blocked. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. And he will score. Touchdown Cardinals. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember. Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. And he will score. Bringing it in right side here, Beckham.
Quality pass, and he makes room upfield. Amari Cooper with a huge touchdown.
Watson down on second down.
Was half the play 90s Big Ten football with a big pass to number 13.
Good move with the 30. Oh, he spins again. Gronkowski's got it on the crossing route.
That's really defensive out of Matthew's going to take the top off. Marvin Jones is going to catch the ball and get taken down at the 4.
Midfield, here's Allen. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 37. One final try here for Allen. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off near the
downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. Being chased out left. Now he'll throw deep left side. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my. Pulled it.
This broadcast is copyrighted by G.I.T. Productions for the private use of all users. Any other use of this telecast and any pictures or descriptions of the game without the consent of the G.I.T.N. and the G.I.T.P. is expressly prohibited. Thank you for watching.
The use of the G.I.T. network is prohibited. That was a nice touch. Wow. I mean, I watched part. I think you showed a preview. I don't think it was that long. In the chat beforehand to us, and I didn't have the music in it. I'm sitting here getting emotional, man, smiling. That was a good video, even though my team was getting their ass beat in every other video. That was a hell of a highlight. Well done, well done, Gato. That was
awesome.
Thanks, guys.
If you guys want to see your highlight in a video like that, like he was saying before, go ahead and post your highlights in the highlight chat. Any sort of user content, feel free to use in the user content channel. Like he said in the thing, any of use of that video other than for G.I.T. network purposes is prohibited. Let's move on. So last season's dead to me. All right, so god damn it, we're gotta talk about the user draft. All right, I guess last season's not dead. All right.
Gotta wrap
Still
it up in a
twitching.
bow at the very end here.
Yeah, and then we gotta
gotta
talk
give
about
it a
the
death blow.
APL Pro Team. God damn it. I'm gonna by the end of this cast, we'll be done with that last season. All right, I promise. All right, so let's go ahead.
3-hour podcast.
Let's go ahead and talk about this user draft. I got it set up on stream here, and I'm gonna go ahead and send you guys in the channel for us the link so you can see. I think I have it separate, right? No, let me give it another shot. User draft. There you go. All right, it's in the chat, so you guys can click the Google Doc so you can see what I'm looking at. All right, here's a breakdown for us. In last place, we got Team Merk.
Oh.
So he had Quan that gave him 12 points, and Bird, team captain, that gave him 14. The biggest shot to you, Merk, which was also the thorn in the side of your whole season, was Lip. It's a user draft, and Lip left, so he doesn't count.
Quit. Like a little.
You know? So, I mean, if Lip had won, well, if he had won 10 games, he would have tied the winner, which is unlikely. Yeah. But it definitely would have been last place. All right. So, JVD Dude, who was your draft pick, celebrity draft pick, only had 2 wins after you drafted him. He started off 7-0 and finished 9-7. I'm not sure if you want to be on Merk's team. But
no more Sal Palantonio picks.
Yes.
Right.
In third place, we've got Team Gato.
Yep.
He had Cam. He had the bike team basically carrying him. He took Sir Dugas, which looked like to be one of the biggest mistakes in the beginning. But he kind of turned his season around. He had a big
comeback,
big finish. He started off, I think, maybe, I don't remember exactly, but it was definitely a really shitty record, maybe like 1-5 or something like that. And he went on a roll after that, 10-6. Basically, after he got Le'Veon Bell, he started to make a run. I think Gato had the most playoff teams, or maybe. So he had, Zach P didn't make it. Just kidding. So he did get 3 extra points for division winners. You got Motorbike, Cam, and Dugas all won, but he still ended up in just third place. Second place, we've got Team Acid, or Team Jinx. So I guess it wasn't that bad. But I do want to point out, because we talked about earlier in the season where we made a trade where you basically traded OVO for myself, that actually did work in your favor, because you did get 2 more wins than I did. So that's a plus. Immaculate carried. He was your only division winner, but the big thing that Acid did that most of us didn't is the worst player on his team was himself. Everybody else had at least 8 wins. So kind of like Acid. He's kind of like the Jeff Fisher team. Pretty much everybody's going to be 8-8, 7-9.
Mm-hmm.
He's always just kind of right there in the middle. That's kind of where you live. Acid, do you have any thought on that? Seem to be losing you here.
Hey, I know how to trade. What can I say? That's the one thing I do good. If there's anything I do good in this league, it's I trade.
If I find out that OVO used to play corner in high school, I'm going to laugh. And that leaves just the winner, myself, Team CMAS, with the win only because I had the Super Bowl champion. Had Oz won the Super Bowl, Team Acid would have won. So it basically came down to the last game of the year. Team CMAS pulled it out. It also probably would have been a runaway had I not been forced to take the R words, who went 0-16.
It's rough.
Yeah, so I had Bears who went 15-1, Cite who went undefeated, and then Simone Boy who won his division with 11 wins. And then the mistake of having Dirk Diggler on my team. Hopefully he has a turnaround season after having a good off season. But tell me what you guys think about this user draft finale. Basically how it went down for y'all, and what's maybe your biggest regret or any thoughts that you have on the user draft in general. I'll start off with Acid since it was his idea to begin with.
I thought it turned out a lot better than I thought. It was one of those ideas that, you know me, I always have some crazy off-the-wall ideas, but they do these weird drafts on my radio show all the time. They'll do like a food draft or something stupid, and you're just like, it works though. It gets people involved, and I love the fact that everybody was representing their guy. Like, I don't say Team Acid very often because I don't think it's really worth a damn. But
You're right.
I gotta give Immaculate, Minty, even OVO. He didn't say nothing, but he carried himself at the end. But I mean, Oz, man, he was my horse at the end. He almost got me the title. So, but I do just looking back at this list, I do have an idea for this year. I'll run it by you guys later, unless you want me to run it by now. But I think I have a new twist to something we could do this year.
I always like you coming up with your ideas live. That way, if they're stupid, we can laugh at it later. So feel free to go ahead.
I'll make it very quick.
All right.
We do a reverse user draft this year.
Being whoever has the worst teams?
All the users. No.
Okay.
All the users.
We took it the same.
Get to pick their podcast hosts to root for to have the best record at the end of the year.
Oh God, we all suck.
Exactly. That's what makes it great.
Rough.
Oh God. I mean, I guess we could do a poll and just have them vote if we did that. And
exactly. Everybody will get their choice.
I guess we
and
could
then
give
maybe we'll do a prize at the end of the year.
we could do some sort of reward at the end. Everybody that picked not pick because we want it to be split up, It's 30 divisible by 4. Yeah, that's 8. So 8 people on each one. Yeah, we could talk more about it. That's not a terrible idea. Good job, Acid. You're just full of. You're getting better at this idea thing. I'm proud of you.
Dilly.
Gato, what was?
I'm inspired by the videos that Gato's got. So.
Oh my God, that video got me hyped.
Yeah, it did.
That's definitely. I know that video is 5 minutes long, and it took probably about 2-3 hours of editing. So I really appreciate you doing that. It probably even took longer than that.
No problem.
But what was your
Very
takeaway? What did you think of this user podcast draft?
Well, I bit the bait pretty good on the Forest Tiger talk.
Yeah,
you talking
I
about
fooled
him
you.
being in a previous Super Bowl. That one kind of fucking that bit my ass.
I
pretty
figured
good.
it would work on somebody.
But other than yeah, it worked on me. I fucking couldn't get the barb out of my mouth. But no, I kind of flopped at the end there too. So I mean, if Forest Tiger would have done Team Gato a solid and picked up maybe 2 or 3 more wins, and I would have picked up 2 or 3 of the losses that I had at the end of the year. We would have been sniffing at second. I was hoping that Dugas would have snuck into the Super Bowl there, but I'm happy for him. He really pulled a quality season together and led Team Gato to not last. But if you're not first, you're last. So that's what it is.
Merk, what'd you think? I know you're a little butthurt because Cam took JB for you. But what do you think?
I mean, that's fine. I'm a little disappointed in my buddy just quitting.
Yeah, I mean, we're all disappointed because he's
not-
been with
Yeah,
us for a long
yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's not cool.
the way he
Is he
did it.
NHLing it up, or is he just busy? I know
he
he's a
hasn't really
family
been
man. He's
on.
got a lot on. He's got
Yeah.
going on. Third
He
shift,
doesn't play
everything.
hockey that much. Yeah, so like he got a lot going on, but that's sad. But yeah, I still I had some good teams that I picked. Shout out to Bird. I think he was 12-4 or something like that. And yeah, it was just fun. It kept me like just interested in other games besides mine, really, I guess.
Yeah,
Which is
that's a good point.
That's the
So.
idea, really.
Yeah.
That's the only downfall if we did the opposite draft is that nobody really care about our games.
Right.
But
It might now, though.
they
Maybe not.
all of a sudden my game
Yeah.
streams get like 15, 16 people for some reason.
Right, it'd be awesome.
Highly unlikely. All right, so kind of turn the page on the user draft, and we can go ahead and move into the APL Pro Team. This is something that we did towards the end of last Madden, and it was pretty successful, and I hope to continue to do it, especially in a Madden where it seems to be pretty difficult to develop. Hopefully this helps some teams that have, some players that had really good seasons but got Madden fucked and didn't get Pro Bowls or anything like that. So let's kind of jump right into it. I do have the PowerPoint up on stream if you guys wanted to follow along and see the graphics, but I'm pretty much just going to describe what's on screen, so it's really up to you. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the offense. So we're going to go, first off, we're going to go ahead and talk about the quarterback. There's only one quarterback selection. Of the available options, actually, let me pull that up. Just a reminder, because it's been a while since we've done this poll. I apologize. You can't see on the stream, but I got a whole new setup here. I got a new desk and had to move it to a different room. Had to rewire to get the hardwire in here, so it took me a little bit. Here I was thinking I could put a desk together in like 2 hours. It took me like 5 or 6. So that's embarrassing. I should have asked Eric because he's a pretty good builder in Fortnite, so he should have been able to help me. Let's see here. There it is. There's the damn app. I was stalling to try to find the app. Didn't work. Alright, so I'm pulling it up now. Other available options, I believe it was Matt Ryan. You're going to think Matt Ryan won. So Matt Ryan, Baker Mayfield, Carson Wentz, and Marcus Mariota. Who do you guys think of those 4 guys? I know you don't have the stats right in front of you, but you did, I'm assuming, do the poll because we had 24 responses, which is the second highest responses. So I really appreciate you guys out there voting for the poll. But I mean, who do you guys think won this award?
Well, I'll take lead on this one, and I think it came down to Baker Mayfield or Matt Ryan ultimately, and I think I gave the nod to Matt Ryan.
Acid, what do you think?
I would have said Carson Wentz if he was on the Steelers all year. I'm going to go with Mayfield on this one.
Merk, if you remember.
I believe I picked Mayfield because of my Browns love from last year. So yeah, hopefully Mayfield.
All aboard.
And we're actually all split because I actually voted for Matt Ryan.
Oh yeah.
So looking on here, the winner and the second place person were separated by 2 votes, 10-8. So the winner of the AP All-Pro quarterback, Baker Mayfield.
Oh yeah.
So,
the rookie sensation.
I mean, I think the biggest thing, and Acid mentioned Carson Wentz, but I think most people weren't a huge fan of that option because he threw more interceptions and touchdowns, and I think that was a mix of him being on 2 different teams.
Yeah.
But it came down to basically Matt Ryan and Baker Mayfield. Mariota was the lowest option. Most people were like, why is he even on here? But
That was the best quarterback rating too, wasn't it? I think out of the
was
4
not.
options.
It was not.
Oh, it wasn't.
No, he didn't really have anything special on there. But the biggest thing is actually I'm not sure why. Oh, it's because Matt Ryan had more yards. Matt Ryan had the most yards, but Baker Mayfield had more touchdowns, higher completion percentage, and a higher quarterback rating. So I think that's what kind of separated them from the difference. Next up, we got the running backs. So we had a choice of Tariq Cohen, Leonard Fournette, Saquon Barkley, Callan Ballage, and LaShawn McCoy. If you guys can remember, because we have 2 winners for the running backs, so guys can just tell me 1 or 2 if you want. But which one of those do you remember that you think you voted for that you think should have won?
I think Cohen was a slam dunk, if I remember right. I think the only other one that was kind of up in the air was that second spot, and I think I went Fournette, if I remember right.
Gato?
Yeah, I went Cohen, who had 18 touchdowns, I believe. And then I believe I also went Fournette, who had the second highest total of touchdowns, if I remember correctly.
Fall into that camp as well.
So I voted a little different. I voted Cohen as well, and so did 88% of the league. But my second vote was different from y'all. I voted Saquon Barkley, mostly because of the multi-dimensional.
Oh, yeah.
Because
forgot about him.
Total yards wise, Barkley had more yards. That was just in my opinion, and also with the rest of the league. So Tariq Cohen and Saquon Barkley are the AP All-Pro running back selections. It wasn't actually close. Barkley had more than double the votes than Fournette did.
Wow.
I think I did go Barkley. I forgot all about him though.
I told you. But yeah, so Tariq Cohen was a slam dunk. He had the most votes of any player, with 88%. So that's pretty impressive season for Tariq Cohen. I don't think
that's minty love right there, man.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley might be some minty love. He had almost 2,000 total yards, 15 total touchdowns. So great season.
A lot of man ass right there.
A lot of man ass. Those thighs though. Whew. All right. Excuse me. Moving on to wide receiver, we had 5 options. We do have 2 winners. We have Antonio Brown, Calvin Ridley, Devontae Parker, Corey Coleman, and Amari Cooper. Of those 5, if you guys can remember, who do you think deserved it? Go ahead with Gato first.
Well, I think Calvin Ridley was on my list. I have a hard time remembering the wide receivers, and I want to say I voted for Antonio Brown as well. I think it might have just been the first 2 said.
I'm pretty sure I had Ridley in there. I don't remember the second option I had, but I want to say Ridley and maybe Cooper.
Merk, do you remember?
I'm pretty sure I went with Devontae Parker and Calvin Ridley.
Okay. So the winners of the wide receivers was Calvin Ridley was one, and the other was Antonio Brown. These 2 ran away with it. Both one had 71%, and the other one had 75%. Calvin Ridley had the most. Amari Cooper only had 1 vote, and I guess it was acid.
Hey, maybe I didn't go Cooper.
Maybe not, because I figured
so long ago.
I figured Raiders would go Cooper, but he's actually the one that did the wide receivers for us, and all of a sudden Cooper was in there. We thought that was a pretty good laugh, because he didn't have. He had an okay season, but anyways, Antonio Brown and Calvin Ridley. So moving on to tight ends, which Asses should be fairly familiar with because he put them together.
Yeah.
So we had.
Fucked it up too.
Yeah, you did. You messed up bad. I fixed it for you. Don't worry. We have.
Let me guess. The guy I forgot is probably number 1, right?
We're about to find out. So Austin Seferian Jenkins, Jordan Reed, who was a simulation. I'm not sure why he's on here. Hayden Hurst, and David Njoku. I'll exclude Acid on this one. Gato, who do you think deserved it? Do you remember the tight ends at all?
I like Njoku, personally.
Merk?
Yeah, I went to Joko too, just because of Browns love.
And Njoku did get the victory. But the funny story is that
Yeah.
Acid presented this list to me without Njoku. Mostly
Good job,
because
Acid.
I think he hates Quan with a burning
Yeah.
passion.
Yeah, there you go. No, actually, I think it was the reception list where I was going down. I was going reception list, and I took the top 4, and then once I realized Safarian Jenkins had like 1 touchdown, I thought I took him off the list for Njoku, but you kept him on, so that's fine.
So, I mean, if you're going by
As long as it got fixed.
receptions, he has more receptions than Hayden Hurst did, but Hurst is on the list.
Ah, Hurst, that's what it was. Okay.
Conspiracy theory.
Maybe that was yards.
Yeah.
No, I just missed Njoku on the list.
In your defense, Gato's list was also missing a Brown, who who ended up winning.
I don't even know where you sitting at.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the defense. So just to recap for you, we had Baker Mayfield taking the quarterback, Tariq Cohen, Saquon Barkley running back, Calvin Ridley, Antonio Brown wide receiver, and David Njoku with the tight end position. Any surprises for you guys so far? I feel like that was pretty status quo.
Yeah.
Pretty young list, except for like 1 guy. I think Antonio Brown was like the only old guy on the
which
list.
is good. It's good for those users. Now these have already been updated, so if you have a player on this list, your development's already been upgraded. Unless you're at Superstar, then Bears would have spoke to you about a different option. But let's go ahead and go to the defense. First thing we're going to be talking about is the defensive ends. We had a few different options. We had Khalil Mack, who had 18.5 sacks. We had Jerry Hughes with 16.5. Donald, who had 12. Donald was considered a right end because Acid's weird. DeMarcus Lawrence, who also had 18.5 sacks. Melvin Ingram, who had 17 sacks. And then Vic Beasley with 13 sacks. Do you guys remember, or any sort of inkling as who you guys voted for, or who you think should have won?
I saw the highest sack totals, so that's who I voted for.
I know I voted for Donald before I traded for him, or traded him away.
Shocker.
So, yeah, go figure, right?
I'm having a hard time remembering this one.
Well, I'll do the remembering for you. You and most everybody else voted for Khalil Mack and DeMarcus Lawrence. They basically looked for the sack totals and moved on, which is weird because they had 18.5 sacks, and right after that was Melvin Ingram with 17. He had 0 votes. Every other user or every other player got votes besides Melvin Ingram. A little bit of Charger hate, I guess. I thought that was interesting.
No, I think it's the Bosa thing. I think it's because Bosa takes up some of that love over there.
But 17 sacks, though? I mean, I don't know.
Numbers don't lie, obviously.
I mean, those tackle numbers are pretty solid, though, too. And then DeMarcus Lawrence getting 2 safeties on the season. I mean, he's creating points for his team.
It's true. I just thought it was weird they had 0 votes. I mean, Vic Beasley got some with only 13 sacks. Aaron Donald got some with only 12 sacks. Hell, even Jerry Hughes got some with a little bit of Buffalo love.
Yeah.
But
that is strange.
Let's move
Must
on.
be the exposure on live games. That's probably all it is.
Yeah,
the Chargers are in LA. That should be a big enough market.
Okay, all right, guys.
Late night games, man.
And it's that West Coast bias, I guess, or East Coast bias, whatever they call it.
East Coast bias.
Oh, but what about Oakland? Isn't that on the West Coast? All right, shut up. Let's move on.
Little Mac, he's in the Midwest now, bitch.
I'm talking about the league, bitch. Bitch! Mr. White! All right, let's move on. Go to defensive tackles, which was Gato's thing, and he did forget somebody. What a goofer. Got a few players on here. You got K1 Short with 7.5 sacks, Kenny Clark with 8.5, Linval Joseph with 8.5, Javon Hargrave with 11.5, Eric Armstead with 4. Not sure why he's on here. And Larry Ogunjobi with 8. Do you
I think it's
remember?
Ogunjobi and who's the other guy? Shit, I'm drawing a blank now. Hargrave.
Those are the ones you voted for?
No, it's probably the two that should have gotten it though.
Okay. Well, you're right, Acid. Ogunjobi and Hargrave both got the votes, and so Gato presented this to me without Ogunjobi. So poor Quan
Nice.
would have had 2 less guys on his All-Pro team. He was
It's true. I hate the state of Ohio. Okay.
definitely feeling.
Yeah,
the,
it's a
the
Cleveland
hate.
thing.
Definitely feeling the hate.
It's a pretty bad
That
state.
state down south.
You lose LeBron, you just lose interest in your teams.
I mean, basketball's kind of shitty, but okay.
Yeah, that too. No, they don't even have that. Shit.
All right.
They got the Flint Tropics, don't they?
Oh, fuck.
Let's hope not.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to linebackers. Too many names to list, so I'm just going to tell you who won. I think the first one was obvious because he won MVP, which was Jerome Baker, with almost 100 tackles.
Roquan Smith, right underneath him, right?
1,000 fucking interceptions.
So, interrupt me one more time, Gato. I'm just kidding. Jerome Baker with almost 100 tackles, 10 sacks, 20 interceptions. I mean, that's completely absurd. I mean, he was on an undefeated team, had the most votes, tied most votes with Tariq Cohen with 88%. Then Roquan Smith was behind him, a little further behind than I thought he would. About 80 tackles, 13 interceptions. 13 interceptions, that's a low number for the Bears user. I figured that'd be higher. And then, ironically, Michael Kendricks was the third, which he let him go in free agency. So whoever
Going to jail too.
Yeah, whoever picked him up, I guess, gets a boost. So lucky them. Some of these other ones.
I gotta say Baker though, man. Like, what was he, like a 70 overall player when he started?
Jerome Baker, I have no idea. I think he might have been in the 60s actually.
That's unbelievable. I mean, 94 tackles, 20 interceptions. Like, that's unbelievable. And we're talking. We've seen Spider basically do crazy shit with his middle linebackers, and this is just, this is uncalled. Like, who's the guy from the Rams that was really good last year? I'm trying to think. Was it not Grugier Hill? Is it?
That was the guy that was on
Vikings.
Yeah, Vikings team.
Oh, okay. No, maybe I'm thinking of maybe it was Detroit a couple years ago with that Stanford guy.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I mean, we haven't seen shit like that. Yeah,
that was absurd. I mean, I've never seen the biggest thing that I've noticed is these tackle numbers. I mean, usually when we're doing, users only have like, maybe 40, 50 tackles, but these guys are almost at 100. Usually those are like sim numbers, like when you're actually like simming the games. So, I mean, they were using their linebackers, making actual, tackles in the backfield. Obviously, there's a lot of tackle for losses. So they were, actual, like, middle linebackers out there making tackles, but then also ridiculous numbers with the interceptions.
Basically, this list basically shows you stop throwing the ball in the fucking middle of the field.
Pretty much. Hard
Take
to do.
the second read automatically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
Check down city.
It's funny that Acid says that because he was usually half the interceptions that went to Vikings
Roquan
last
Smith,
season.
right there. That's probably 6 of them.
I don't even think he got me this year, which is
According to
so
the-
awesome.
According to the highlight video, I threw Roquan Smith like 2 interceptions just in the highlight video. So I swear Gato was just like on my stream, just like going through every video trying to find the worst ones. It was awesome.
And he waits to save his last one for himself. You gotta love that shit.
Well,
Dude,
that
he
was-
had 2 kick return or block punt and block kick.
I was
Block
ca-
kick was against me.
I've never seen a block punt in this game, so that kind
Neither
of
have I. That's awesome.
But
I'm just glad he didn't show the freaking last second heave against me to win the game. So thank you for
I had to
saving that
spare
one,
you
Gato.
a little bit there.
I'm kind of
Thanks,
surprised
I
he did.
appreciate it.
Although I do want to say that play he saved for last was the only one I was like, what? On. So I was pretty impressed. Although I love the
Hopefully
ones that
we'll get some better ones.
when you took the highlights from commentary ones, and it usually you could hear like Duke's
Yeah.
excitement in the background. He's just like, it's gonna happen. I can't believe it.
What?
Yeah, I
Dude,
threw one
it's
of
the one
my
that caught the
that
one
was
in the-
awesome.
Yeah. So.
Who's the one that caught the one in the end zone, went like through 2 people, and he's like, What?
This fucking
What?
game.
That was before commentary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was just
this
him.
game. This game.
I threw the fucking in to make it a better story, but yeah, he just said this game. All right, so anyways, let's get back on track here. So the secondary for votes was definitely the most controversial. There's tons and tons of different opinions. Let's just go ahead and move into the corners. The two winners for the corners were Denzel Ward and Xavier Howard. Denzel Ward.
Was Ward a write-in too?
No. Well, I put the corner list together, so they were all technically right in.
Good job.
Yeah, I made
job.
sure to include the Browns. But yeah, this one was kind of up in the air because there's a few other ones that got some votes. Just Desmond Trufant got votes. Jamal Agnew from Detroit was really close.
Yeah, that's true.
I had no idea
Oh,
who
yeah.
it was, to be honest.
Way to go, Merk. Way to go.
He's so good.
Almost.
I love that guy.
You know, the sad thing is that Jamal Agnew has like safety tackle numbers, which tells me that he's allowing a lot of catches. But that's neither here nor there.
That's true.
But there's a
He plays on special teams too. Let's blame that.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true. But there was a lot of votes for the corners. And last but not least, safety, which one of these is going to be pointless. Rashad Jones, who has basically been ruined by regression, and Keanu Neal were the two safety selections. This also was very, very close. Pretty much all of them got at least 5 votes. There was Tony Jefferson, Jabril Peppers, and Jordan Poyer. The only person on the list that was a Buffalo Bill that I thought maybe had a chance. No, he didn't.
I voted for Peppers.
Yeah, I voted for Neal and Jones because they had the best seasons, and also I love Keanu Neal because I'm a Falcons fan.
I'm gonna say this. I think I got screwed out of the punter award. I think I would have won it if we would have done it. So I'm just gonna put that out there.
Anyways.
On the record.
Anyways. So that's what I got. I mean, for the AP All-Pro team, all those users have already had their developments upgraded. The last thing I do want to mention, we had a competition for the Super Bowl Pick'em in the playoffs. There were multiple teams that selected the Dolphins, and one team that tried to select them mid-playoffs. You were disqualified, Chiefs.
Cheater.
So the winner by random selection was the New England Patriots. So I'm gonna message him. Clap, clap, clap. I'm gonna message him after this and let him know. So he gets to select any of his rookies, and he gets to give him a upgrade in development. So good for him. We'll probably keep doing that every season. That's
I like it.
You know, it's easy to do. So pretty much we're at the end of the stream here. I'm gonna go ahead and let my guys have any sort of closing thoughts, while I'll try to find the closing video because I don't remember where I put it. So what are your closing thoughts, gentlemen? I'll go ahead and start off with Acid.
I think we gotta give our major props to. I mean, you came up with some really good graphics for the AP All-Pro team, but for Gato with the videos and with getting the ring for the league, I think it just creates a lot more just for the league in general. I think everybody's excited again for season 2. A lot of times after season 1s, we get like 5 new users, or we have to find a bunch of new users. Everything was pretty much filled except for maybe like one team, which we lost track of. Like, he stopped talking, and then he messaged me yesterday on Slack saying, "Sorry, man, my phone was broken." I'm like, well, sorry, dude, we had to fill your spot. So, but yeah, I mean, give it up to you guys for the great content, and for the rest of the league for just keeping it fresh, man.
And full disclosure, Bears created that PowerPoint for me. I just added the pictures and typed in. So
shit.
He created the PowerPoint, just like he created the lottery draft and the team reveal PowerPoint. He creates the PowerPoints for me, and I just fill them in for the most part. So shout out to him for creating those. I want to make sure he gets credit. Gato, what's your closing thought?
Well, my closing thought is close to my sentiments early in the show. that this is quite possibly the quotes healthiest league I've been in a long time. I feel like we have a very strong understanding amongst all the players and users that what sim football is. I'm here stumbling over my words, but I'm fucking up here, so I'm just gonna call it short. I think everyone's doing a really good job, and keep going.
Merk, who
Short game strong, bro.
usually doesn't have a closing thought.
Well,
Still
this
gonna
is
ask.
my second full season, I guess I would say, in a league, and it's kind of ruined just playing franchises by myself, which I think is probably a good thing. I just like it. I like how competitive we are. I like all the content, especially the stuff that Gato does is pretty just awesome. And being involved in podcasts and everything is just, yeah, I enjoy it. I have fun. Let's keep it going.
And I want to give a shout out too, because we're talking about content. Shout out to, you heard him a little bit in the highlight videos, but shout out to Dugas, who does a lot of the commentary stuff. So
Yeah, he's great.
Shout out to him for being a part of that. And
yeah.
if there's anybody who's watching these and it's like, well, I can put I can put a pretty sick video together or anything like that, or think they can add any sort of content, feel free to reach out to us. Obviously we'll give you a platform and let you join. And let you do that. Dugas basically reached out to, I think, Gato, and basically was like, let's do commentating, or let me do commentating.
Yeah, Dugas.
Yeah, and
he wants to freaking commentate like half the games of the league. I mean, if we can get some people that want to do it, there's plenty.
I almost feel like he needs to be on payroll.
It's a scheduling issue with a lot of these games because it's like they pop up last minute, and usually only Merk is available at any time at moment's notice.
Yep, so. I have no life.
But that's my closing thought. Just a shout out to pretty much everybody that's put any sort of time in this league as far as extra things like user content and stuff like that. That's what makes it worth it. And any ideas for this season, feel free to reach out to us. Any sort of feedback you'd like to give, other than JB talking about balls in my mouth, stuff like that. We'll avoid that.
Podcast ideas too, definitely.
Yeah,
for sure. We had a couple of good ideas last year for some of the guys.
I've kind of collected my thoughts here, and I do have a few things I would like to share now that you've jarred my memory a small amount. Sir Dugas does have a few more things planned. He wants to do a weekly power ranking show. We do have a new YouTube channel, so you guys can access all our videos now. After we're done streaming and they're saved, I'll download them, put them on YouTube, trim them up a little bit if they need be, and on top of that, really mostly I just wanted to mention Sir Dugas was going to do the power ranking show. I know that's usually something people are kind of fiending for, so that should be something to keep people interested in.
It's cool. Kind of like the Elliot Harrison thing, every week putting out a power ranking. I like that. Is that going to be just him, or
That's a good idea.
Are you going to be a part of that too? Or?
Well, I told him I'd help him with it. We're going to do it, but I think that might be something where we should do like a weekly poll, maybe every, well, depending on if we do the new advanced schedule, depending on that, but maybe every Saturday we could do a poll, get an idea, and on Sunday we'll have a show.
Yeah, I think it's pretty official.
That'd be sweet.
Switching the advanced schedule. 22-2 seems pretty. I'm not a math wizard here, considering there's only 32 users, but I think
seems definitive.
Seems like that,
and
it's going to change. So.
And one more thing, I think if we can, I'd like to return the segment of Who's That Scrub, because it seemed to get a little bit of a good feedback from it. If you guys out there want to, I know it's not the best idea all the time, but if you want to send me your picture,
who's that?
No dick pics. Yeah. And if you guys want your team to be basically kind of talked about, broken down on our show, and basically talk about your user skills, by all means, send me a DM. This is your, asset here. Just I'll try to get you guys on the show. If we could do it at least once more this year, it'd be great.
And if anyone in the league knows how to do HTML coding for the website, get a hold of one of the admins. I have a pretty good idea. If you guys know how to do it, just get a hold of me.
Shit, I can't even put a PowerPoint together. So.
I I figured you guys were like computer geniuses with all this shit y'all do.
No.
Anyway.
Shit, I am. I just put it together and take credit for it. That's all I do.
Oh.
But yeah. So and then like we had a couple times where we had some guest coaches that came on. Anybody that we haven't heard from, we'd love to have you on as a guest coach. And anybody that would like to do commentating, the more commentators we have, the more games will be commentated. So would much appreciate that. But that should close out the show today. So I'm gonna go ahead and play us off. And thank you for watching the Gridiron Throne Network. And like I said, anything used of this video without the consent of the Gridiron Throne Network is prohibited.